German nurse that acted out of boredom could be country's d.eadliest serial killer. Niels Högel was already sentenced to life in prison after he admitted to murdering 2 patients. Mr. Högel worked at hospitals in Oldenburg and Delmenhorst, where he is alleged to have killed at least 38 patients in the former and at least 62 in the latter. The 41-year-old worked at Oldenburg from 1999 to 2002 and in Delmenhorst from 2003 to 2005. When questioned by police about the murders, the sadistic nurse showed little emotion by bragging that he stopped counting after 50. Authorities have stated the death toll for Mr. Högel is likely higher, but with many patients said to have been cremated to remove traces of evidence, the exact number of deaths is currently unknown. The nurse is said to have given patients overdoses of drugs before trying to resuscitate them to play the hero. He is said to have felt exhilarated when he succeeded and ruined when he failed. Charges are expected to be brought against Mr. Högel next year. As the nurse has already been sentenced to life in prison, further charges could not extend his sentence, but would instead limit his chances of probation. Typical life sentences in Germany are eligible for probation after 15 years. Arne Schmidt, the chief police investigator, stated that the number of deaths was unique in the history of the German Republic and that the killings were made without a discernible pattern. Mr. Högel was arrested in 2005 after a colleague saw him injecting a patient. He was sentenced to 7.5 years in jail in 2008 for attempted murder. Further investigations ensued after a woman contacted police after seeing coverage surrounding the nurse questioning if he had also killed her mother. The fresh inquiries resulted in several bodies being exhumed and tested for the hard drug used by Mr. Högel. From the bodies examined, the drug was detected in 5 of them. Police have stated that the reluctance from health officials to report suspicions of the nurse is the reason for the nurse continuing his sadistic habits for the lengthy period. Mr. Högel was convicted in 2015 of 2 murders and 3 attempted murders. The presiding judge at the conviction said the victims were play figures for him in a game in which only he could win and the others could lose everything. The nurse reportedly struggled with depression, anxiety and developed a love for alcohol and drugs during his career. Mr. Högel started training to be a nurse at the age of 17 and is said to have labeled the first surgery he assisted on as a traumatizing experience.